My name is Haley Clancy, and I'm from Pittsburgh, more so outside of the city, in the suburbs, if you know Cranberry Township. Um, so yeah, I'm about 20 years old, and I think of myself as a poet, a street poet is that. I just sit on the corner, and you tell me any topic, and I write about it. We can write about how I'm sitting on the corner selling poems, and like whatever you say, I just write about it in a matter of 3 minutes. So that's what I do. After this, we get done recording this. I got to go wash dishes. So I mostly do that afterwards, and that's just a daily thing. So yeah. So when I was about 8 years old, I just got like a book and whatnot, and like it was like the first time I always say this, but it was like I wrote a poem about like something sad, but my mom like she like we were all laughing about it, so my whole family we were sitting there laughing about it, and I was about 8. My first I can remember me sitting like I used to go to Alabama over the summers to go to my like aunt's house and like visit my dad in Alabama because that's like where I'm originally from, but I moved here when I was 3 months, so I don't really know anything of that. We just went down back in like in the summers and spent time with my family that's down there. So that's basically like I've got like this little notebook like, and I just sat there and like wrote little things. Like I wrote like all the way back on like that 12-hour car ride back. So that was like I could still remember myself like that 10-year-old girl sitting in there trying to figure out how I'm gonna make this rhyme. But it was like cat hat like that. But now it's like some days I walk, others I run. I get back up how I've seen the sun. Like I've changed it now, so I can always remember myself that 10-year-old girl. So I started doing this when I was 16. I had got out of rehab when I was trying to figure out like how to change my life around. I always say that, but that's like how it kind of started because I would have never went to go get a typewriter. Just like I would have never like now I have so much other stuff I need to do, and I wish I can go back to like where I bought my first typewriter, but it's like a metaphor. I got to do something better, and yeah. So life is this big poem, right? It's like this, like you live, you die. That's the poem in itself. Like that's one poem right there. Like you live, you die. So if somebody comes up to me and say like, my dog just died, or just like different things they say like a beetle in a bottle cap. Like it's just like those are little poems that add up to this big poem. So it's more of like poetry is life, like it's beauty and the pain, like in the sense of like I can write about it. It's not going to do anything for me. Like I can go give somebody a poem. Like yesterday, 2 days ago, I sit by this coffee truck. The truck got like on fire, like on the bottom, and I was like, let me go write a poem and see what I could do for them. It did nothing, but it's at the same time it still brings light to people's eyes. It changed the simple fact that maybe like, okay, this poem doesn't equal that poem. Like I'm living, I'm not dead yet, even though that's the ending to that one. So it's just like, yeah, we can write about like let me think of some wild stuff someone said. I can't even think of one. But it's like more of so like people can say get a poem about like just the clouds, just like the little things in life. Like my mother's 50th anniversary, like F Donald Trump, like stuff like that. It's like the little kids like just about their games they just came from like it's like you can hold on to that one for a little bit longer on paper, like in the sense of like that's not the end to that one. Dying and living, like that's not the end to that one yet. Like when I see somebody coming to get a poem or like me trying to stop them, I give it my all. Like get a poem about pigtails, like get a poem about like anything. Like I just like see the person and like once they stop, it's like, okay, somebody's getting the poem. Like it's more of like this great thing in the sense of like you don't know what like their reaction is going to be after that. Like you don't know if it's just like another thing that they're going to be like just just throw away, like they did it out of just like charity, or like when people say like I'm going to put that up on my wall, I'm going to change like exactly what I need to like figure out. It's more of you just help somebody, like you might have just made their day just a little bit better. Like you might have like they can go tell somebody and tell somebody else. Like how can I say that? It's more of that God has me out here still. Like, it's more of like, it's not for nothing, obviously, I'm still coming out here, but it's like, okay, like, that person just cried. That child just smiled, was trying to jump up and get it out of her father's hand. Like, baby saying hi to me, like, smiling at me, and I didn't smile at them, and I have a mask on, and like dogs looking up at me, like, what is she saying? And it's like, you just made a moment for a family, like, they won't remember. Like, I could tell you to get a poem about your, like, people will look back, even like the people who passed by, get a poem about you and your father. Like, he can walk past again, like, his father's not there, so he can just remember that simple 5 seconds, like. And then, like, when people walk past, like, I'll say, get a poem about that love story to take home with that love story. They'll hold their hands, like, even more, like, even if they'll say no, they'll grip on, like, a little bit more to their hands. Like, I saw a man kick his wife in the butt afterwards. I don't even know, I guess that's his love language. I said, you got to get one for her. You shouldn't have to tell him. And he, like, just, like, walked past. It was like a 5-second, like, interaction. It's just like a daily thing that, like, happens that I have to, like, hold on to those moments. But then it's like the people who stop, it's like, that was that moment. Or how it's all the same. I guess this is a poem about the interview. So it says the interview. This is the great times we know best, where one comes to interview, or just a story how a poem can change someone's view, about how we're in the strip, we have this day, the most, or just living. To that we must come close, to the story we must film, that a view that is our own. One day you can say we made this place our home, because I don't have one of those great stories, just a girl who wishes to get there, but that's okay. One of many interviews right here. My dreams and aspirations are to know that when I get there, because I truly believe that I'm somebody, like I said, why when you can influence many and be a part of the any, like that's my quote to myself, why be the any when you can influence many, like, and I've influenced many people, ever since I was little, I always said, there's this poem, my first poem I ever heard was, I am a nobody, who are you? Are you a nobody too? And it's like, I don't want to be a nobody. Like, I don't want that poem to be my poem. So it's just like more of, like, one day I'll look back and say, like, I did it myself. Like, I got here myself. Like, I didn't, like, yeah, people helped me in the sense of, but I came out here every day and sat on this corner, like, and tried to ask people to get a poem. Like, I could say that myself about how I'm sitting out here on the corner asking you for a poem. And it's like, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll just, like, look back and say that it was all meant, like, it's supposed to happen, and, like, that it all happened, like, and I had some part in it. And I don't know, that's my aspirations in life, just for people to walk by. You know that girl who sat right there? Yeah, her building's down the street, like, in the sense of, like, don't be in the same spot for forever. Like, I told myself a lot, like, am I in the same spot my whole life? But it's like, maybe you're not. Like, maybe you sit outside on the side of the road and sell a poem. I have to get that in my head. Like, I have to put that in my head that they need this. Like, they can't go to Giant Eagle and get a poem by Clancy. So it's like, what does that mean? So what does that poem by Clancy mean? Like, I have to make my life one great poem. Like, but it's just in the same time, like, I don't know if I am. Like, it's not more of a contradiction. It's more of, God says walk by faith and not by sight. So I'm walking by faith. So I can say, like, one day I'll be saying, like, I walk by faith. Like, I did, like, that's what I told the little blind girl. I said, we walk by faith. So it's just like, it's like you gotta find the poetry in it. Like, you can laugh at the fact that you're living. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't want to be a disappointment. So I don't want to disappoint myself mostly. So yeah, that's where I see myself. That's my goals and aspirations, not to disappoint myself. My name is Haley Clancy, and I'm a poet. that's about 20 years old, and I'm ready to write you a poem, whatever is your purpose.